everyone, and welcome to the Tech Academy around real-time decisioning for personalization at scale. We've got both myself, Steve Heron, and Mahmood here to run you through at a high level some of the things that we've been working on with some of our clients and also answer any of your questions. As we're going through this, feel free to type in any questions you have, and we'll collect them all together and spend about 15 minutes at the end just responding to any questions you have. So yeah, just be patient. If we don't get to your question straight away, we'll absolutely get to it at the end and make sure we cover off anything that you have. Okay, so um, let's get into this and just talk about this for how we look at personalization at scale. So when our customers come to us and ask about decisioning, actually quite often what we understand is their use cases are around how do we actually do personalization, of which decisioning is one of the core components. But when we break this down with them and understand what they're trying to achieve, what we quite often find is that the requirements are across the three different categories that you see here that enables them to achieve those use cases. And if we break those down very quickly, the first one on the left is real-time customer insights and engagement. So how do you know what the customer, who the customer is, and why they might be looking to, across your site and looking to engage with you? The second part, where decisioning actually quite often sits, is around the modern omnichannel orchestration and execution. So you don't only make decisions within your decisioning engine, you're also making decisions everywhere through that journey with a customer. So we need to work together with what we know about the customer as well as your decisioning engine to deliver that personalized experience to those customers. And then the final part, which is what we're going to spend the majority of our time talking about today, is actually looking at that intelligent decisioning and personalization engine, and how that can help to drive the other two to increase the engagement for your customers and to increase your results as an organization. So if we break down what the decisioning engine actually does from the Adobe perspective and how we build that decisioning capability, it really comes under 5 different blocks. So as per my last slide, if we look at decision, the first thing we have to understand is who's the actual customer. So that's made up of really 3 different types of information. So you have their attribute data, which is things like this is Bobby. He lives in London. He drives a Range Rover. He has 2 children and a dog or a cat, whatever one you prefer, and really understand who that person is. Then we overlay that with the behavioral data. So what have they been doing across both your digital and offline assets, whether that be in your call center or across your different, website estate? What have they been looking at? What have they been calling you about? Really, all that underlying contextual data that will help you understand what the next best thing would be for them to see. And then finally, we add over the transactional data. So what have they done before in the past? For instance, if you're an insurance organization, you might be looking at, are they coming up to their renewal period, for instance, or have they just renewed? And what should we be talking to them about? So once you know who the person is, you're really going to be looking at what we should be showing them. And that's not just around what the offer is, but it's around, should they be in a service or marketing journey? Should we be showing them, a content that is around the renewal, or should we be showing them something around cat insurance, dog insurance, a different t-shirt if you're in retail, for instance? And then finally, the last part is the offer. So once you're trying to understand, what we could be doing to convert them in terms of what the next purchase should be. So once you understand the who and the what, usually there's going to not just be one thing that person might be interested in. So they'll look, there might be 5 or 6 different things or journeys that person could potentially be eligible for. Realistically, however, you want to prioritize that to have the one that is going to be most relevant for them. I spoke about insurance before, but with one of my recent insurance customers that I was speaking to, when they were coming to the end of their renewal, for instance, they wanted to make it so that all that customer saw from them was their renewal, offers and quotes and how they could make that process easy for them. But you might also look at that from a service or marketing perspective. For instance, if we know that they've got a service case going, we want to suppress all the marketing outbound and inbound communications and make sure we focus on how we can help them resolve their service issue as quickly as possible. Once you know the who, what, and prioritize that, we're really looking at the when and the where. So once again, Adobe can look at this from across all of your inbound and outbound channels, but where are they going to be the most engaged and at what time and how, with the messaging that we've already worked out. And then once you've got all that, as you can notice, the previous four are really from the customer perspective. But most of the people here will be coming from organizations that will have business objectives. So we overlay that with the why from an organizational objective and what KPIs can we tie to that that will match what your organization is trying to achieve. And that could be something as simple as, we've got plenty of stock of a certain type of T-shirt, for instance, or we've got, not enough stock of another one. So how do you add that contextual organizational overlay to that decisioning to make sure that you're achieving your organizational results? So from a very high level, those are the building blocks that we see around personalization for next best offers, actions, and experiences, and how that ties into the wider personalization part. So with that, I'll pass over to Mahmood to go on to the next slide.
Thanks, Steve. Just, lack of centralized decision management will result really in this disconnected and poor customer experiences. What we have seen typically marketing teams and the different customer-facing teams, they activate data experiences from different sources, different systems, and that creates very confusing and inconsistent experiences. So I'm sure, for example, you all have seen this where, for example, you get a lot of communications and a lot of next best offers actions around a product you already purchased or something you're not already interested. So our decisioning, our centralized decisioning, addresses those business challenges, and the way we address these business challenges by four pillars. And so the first one is the real-time customer profile. That is fundamental for any decisioning, or I would say personalization at scale. You need to know your customers, prospect, and profiles. You need to unify their data from online, offline, resolve their identities dynamically, not only look at their profile data and their behavior data, but also take in consideration the context data, in which context those profiles are evolving. A good example is, imagine Mahmoud might be interested in a mortgage offer, but right now I'm going on holiday tomorrow. I just done a transaction in the airport. So that's another context data. You want to make sure that your decision engine is not talking anymore only about mortgages, but is shaping the conversation to look at, okay, Mahmoud is going away. How can we help Mahmoud to manage my money and to manage my holiday in much a better way? The second pillar is around centralized offer action library. And that library, it allows you to accelerate time to market. Is basically by centralizing all your actions and content in one place, independently of the different channels, systems, and teams. It allows you to save time, but also to have that centralized, consistent actions and offers across the organization. Then obviously the third, which is the most critical part, is the decision engine itself. The decision engine allows you to improve ROI by building arbitration strategy to determine what's the next best offer or action we should be presenting to your prospect and customer. It's a very sophisticated decision engine. We invested in this decisioning in the last 5 years. We support, we offer different capabilities, rule-based, capping to duplication, channel constraint, but not at least we offer ranking, and our arbitration provides both rule-based dynamic formula, but also ML-driven arbitration. So, and finally, So a decision engine is as good as if it's natively and easily connected to the different channels. What we have seen with a lot of the clients we work in, sometimes they have what we call a single point approach, where they build their decisioning separated from the channels and their journey management. And when they end up there, it's very difficult to then connect those decisions to the different channels. So what in our Adobe Experience Platform, which decision is a key part, we natively connect decisioning with all our orchestration and channel deliveries. Basically, when you're doing emails, in-apps, SMS, push, natively you can pick up the next best action, next best decision without having to build any integration. Everything is natively available. It can be leveraged in both outbound channels, but also in inbound channels like web, mobile, telephony, and branches. All that data decisioning, all the interactions, all that feedback loop is fed back to the Adobe Experience platform, so that data then can be leveraged for analysis, but also to enhance the next best action, either by rules or by ML. We cannot talk about decisioning without talking about arbitration. Arbitration is the central, I will say, component of how you do your decisioning. As Adobe, our arbitration process provides you a very extensible and multi-level decisioning. So typically, this is like a pyramid in another way. So typically what we see in the market, customers already uses ML, data science. They already built some propensity models outside the Adobe ecosystem. So we leverage that data as a starting point. So then to filter down and to go to the next level of decision. So we offer you eligibility rules. So it allows you to define these rules, when these offers are, where and when these offers should be eligible. These eligibility rules can leverage any external data you have, any data you have in Adobe Experience Platform, including your profile attributes, their events, segments, but let's not forget the context data as well. So our decision is not only about the data we already know and have, but also takes in consideration all the new data, all the context data we are getting as your prospect and customers interacting with your digital and non-digital properties. So the next level, obviously, placement. A good example, for example, the way you customers qualify for an email placement or for a banner in the website or for a call center, you might have a specific eligibility and rules around this placement. A good example, you may opt out for emails, and by default, then the decision will automatically remove you from the email placement. And we don't need to waste any time in trying to figure out what's the best action for email, where you didn't consent for email. So we provide capping. I think capping is a very critical part. So this is where you manage what we call the customer fatigue, or the capacity, the saturation of your different channels. A good example, you may say, if someone have seen the offer more than X time, they haven't interacted with the offer action, so we need to cap that and suppress that action offer. So all the different offers and actions, we associate a priority, a weight that can be a static weight, but can also be driven by business levers or business priorities. It can also be dynamically calculated based on different parameters. It can be based on the context data, on the profile data, the type of actions you're running. Some of the business priorities, maybe sometimes Mahmoud may be eligible for a mortgage, but you have a business priority to look at your loans. So what you can do, you can then boost the loan actions and offers and impact how the weight, and that based on your business imperatives and objectives. And finally, at the bottom, we have the ranking. So after all these eligibility rules are applied at different levels, So we rank all, either depends what we're looking at, offers or actions or experiences, and we rank that, and obviously we deliver the best offer, action, and experience slide. So ranking, we offer different capabilities and options. The first one is, I'm sure as you can expect from any decision engine, is the rule ranking. This allows you have different options. It's either based on manual ranking or based on when you define your actions and offers, you can associate different weights, and then the decision engine will pick up the highest ones and return that to the channel. The second one, which is more advanced, which is what we call dynamic formula. This is where dynamically you can impact and boost the weight of these different offers based on different parameters, context, business objectives, and so on. And finally, I think it's important to highlight from the Adobe perspective, our decision engine is not only rule-based, we also support ML-based arbitration. So we offer two models as part of our decisioning. One is called optimization model, and the other one is called personalization model. So in summary, arbitration and ranking are a core of our decision engine. We support both rule-based, dynamic ranking, but also ML, machine learning ranking as well. This is a high summary to talk a little bit more about, we cannot talk about decisioning without talking about data science. So when our experience when working with our clients and customers, typically, the questions we get and so on, customers are telling us, I already invested massively in Azure ML or on Databricks or on Amazon's SageMaker and so on and so on. How Adobe can augment the existing investment and help us to deliver the next best action. So on the Adobe approach to this, we connect to your existing ML investment. So if you're already a big organization with a big data science ML team, we can leverage all the scoring, all the decisioning you already made, and then enrich that with the Adobe decisioning around next best action, next best offer, next best content. But also we work with some organizations where they are not yet mature enough in the data science space. We offer embedded ML. So it's machine learning as a service. It's really easy to use out of the box. It allows not only your technical teams, but also your marketing teams to take advantage of the ML and leverage that to drive the personalization at scale and the next best action. So if we go to the next two slides, I will just give you an overview. So if we specifically talking about decisioning, this is the two key models we offer out of the box. They can leverage any data you have in your ecosystem and the one you have in Adobe, as I say, including the most up-to-date profile from their attributes, behavior data, all their events, interactions online and offline, but also the context data. So a personalization model, it's based on the difference between optimization and personalization. Optimization looks at past offer actions performances, for example, click through and so on, and then you look, okay, which one is the most likely you will respond, or what's the likelihood for you to take the mortgage, for example, offer and so on, where personalization optimization goes beyond that. It leverages all the data you have in the platform and looks at different patterns to say, okay, people who similar, it's a little bit similar to like modeling as well, where people looks like you already interested in this type of offers, and then we give you that as the next best action. So we use natural network and very advanced ML models, and happy with I don't think we have enough time today to go to the math sides of that, but that's really the two key out of the box ML models you get as part of our decisioning. And the next slide is, this is for, as I said before, a lot of the organization we work, they might already have a very mature ML capabilities. Okay, and this is the way we Adobe. This is our strategy, how we can leverage your existing ML and score capabilities and leverage that in Adobe to drive personalization at scale. So, and the way, if you look at it, so your ML platform is the hardcore ML machine learning. Adobe, it's really for your activation, segmentation, orchestration, but decisioning, when we talk here about decisioning, is how can I deliver my next best offer, content, experience, and action. So really Adobe Experience Platform here on our decisioning complements your existing ML investment, and it allows you seamlessly to connect the intelligence to the different channels. This one is an FSI, is a financial services dish architecture, and this is the whole. So if you look at today in the market, so you will see there's a lot of single point solutions delivering either campaign management or journey management or decisioning, on-site personalization, off-site personalization, and so on. And when it comes to the to the CX world, the main challenge really comes down to latency and the number of distinctly separate technologies required to deliver that customer experience, basically to collect, resolve, and activate that data. So the end-to-end, delivering the end-to-end experience in a consistent fashion, it's not an easy job. And that's why Adobe, in the 5 years we invested in Adobe Experience Platform, is exactly to answer this question. How can we deliver end-to-end customer experiences at scale in one platform without having to work with thousands of disparate systems? So Adobe Experience Platform been in the market since 2018. It delivers you a lot of capabilities, and some of our clients, they use a few of these capabilities. Some others, they use all of them. Depends, on the maturity where you are in the journey, but also it depends on your existing investment. So, but at higher level, there are, I will say, 4 or 5 key components. Then the first one is focuses on unify customer profile. So how do you unify that customer profile? How do we integrate our platform with your existing data and system ecosystem? How do we unify in real time and resolve dynamically the different identities to build the most up-to-date unified profile? That on itself is a big challenge, and you cannot do decisioning without having that up-to-date unified actionable real-time profile. Since once we have done that, we offer you different capabilities. The first one, obviously, you can do real-time segmentation. So it allows you to not only batch, what we have seen in the market is, everyone can do batch segmentations. Adobe, obviously, you get batch segmentation, but what we offer you is very low latency, what we call edge and streaming segmentation. Is the way it works as the data comes in real time into the platform, the different segments in real time, they get reevaluated, and then the different profiles, they move in or out of the different segment. Then the segments can be leveraged to to drive the different activations. But also before, so as we said, someone can be eligible to multiple experiences. That's where our decision engine, if you look at the architecture, you have decision in there. We support both real-time and batch. That decision engine, it allows you to arbitrate between the different journeys, the different experiences, offers, and content, arbitrate and provide you what's the next best content, action, and experience we should be talking to your customers. And finally, decision orchestration are completely unified, and the benefit of that is to simplify the end-to-end customer experiences. That journey management and decisioning is natively available in all the different channels. So natively in the platform, we can deliver web, mobile, email, SMS, push, in-app, cards in mobile app, but also we can easily connect your what we call offline channels like telephony and branch. In the summary, is a one platform for real-time actionable profile, orchestration, personalization, and decisioning. I think I hand over to Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Mahmood. So conscious of time, so we had till 1:30 in the UK time to cover this. So, and then we've left time for questions. So please drop your questions in as I'm going through this final slide. This one is just really a summary of kind of everything we've covered so far. So at the start, we talked you through how Adobe sees personalization and where decisioning falls into that personalization journey, how we create a decision, how we enable that across all of the channels, how we work with large machine learning tools, how we do the arbitration, and how we'd architect that. But one of the questions we get quite often, and we wanted to finish this on, was, well, we've got some of those components at the moment, and we want to either build it ourselves or build a best in breed kind of solution. Or actually, at the end of it, Adobe comes in once someone's done that, and these are the types of problems that they've seen at the end. I'm not going to go through all of these, but if we just look at the right-hand side, and I know Mahmood just covered off some of these, but I just want to re-highlight some of them. So if you're looking at some of the challenges that you have by having a decisioning engine, having a campaign management platform, and potentially having an email service provider on top, what we often see with our customers is that they say it's quite hard to get data in or out of those platforms. When we start with what we were talking about at the start, so the behavioral data or the transactional data, how long does it take for that to get in, or how complicated is it for that to get in, especially when we're dealing with regulated industries or highly complex organizations such as FSI organizations. Quite a lot of those organizations have come to us and said, this is quite a large challenge. And as Mahmood highlighted, the Adobe Experience Platform is built on an open, extensible, API-first platform. The other part is that if you look at an email service provider, a decisioning engine, or a campaign management platform, by definition, the majority of these can only operate on known profiles, whereas a lot of our customers want to start personalizing their experience from the moment that someone hits their website, when they're still an unknown profile. And the Adobe Experience Platform has the concept of an unknown profile, which allows us to then start doing that and customizing that based on what their behavioral data shows they're most likely to interact with. The second part is that having the three different components, because of that difficulty in passing data between them, quite often what we see is that the decisioning component gets passed across to the email, for instance, tool only in batch. So they'll get a daily or twice daily potentially update according to what the next best action will be. And it's very hard sometimes for our customers to do that real-time decisioning. Whereas the Adobe Experience Platform, because the profile, the behavioral data, the decisioning, and the orchestration is all in one place, that enables us to do both the batch and the real-time decisioning and activation in one place, which is quite good in the marketplace from what we've seen. The third area is around the omni-channel engagement. And we've highlighted before that this is often a challenge around how we do the arbitration across all the channels. So not just your inbound web, mobile, including your outbound ones, so email, SMS, but also things like call center and, for instance, branch. How do you make sure that it's a consistent experience and they're only seeing across all of those channels exactly what the highest priority is for you as an organization? And that's quite difficult if you've split out your management across those different channels and don't have a centralized management tool. And then the final one is the intelligent decisioning. As we've highlighted, the decisioning component is actually core to the platform. And what we've heard time and again from customers that we've been speaking to is that the colleague experience is key to how they're going to get benefit from this platform in the future. How easy is this going to be to use? How quickly can my marketers and my service people roll this out to maximize the return for us? And because this is all in one place, it's an easy UI for all of those people to learn and develop and work from, rather than having to learn 3 different platforms with different looks and feels, etc. And finally, all of this is based on a high level of privacy and security, with that all being managed from one central location. So rather than having potentially 3 disparate areas where you're storing customer data with all of the different controls and rules, all of this is done in one place within Adobe. So that's essentially the benefits of looking at this as one platform, and some of the challenges that we've helped real life customers overcome. On that, I think we're at the end of our formal presentation, and I can't see any questions. So I'll leave it open for a couple of minutes and see if there's any questions that come through. Well, actually, whilst we're waiting for any questions to come through, maybe Mahmood, what's an example where potentially we've worked to kind of assist to speed up the decisioning process, and kind of, can you think of any examples how we've done that and why?
Yeah, sorry. I think one of the, let's take an example. We worked with a lot of FSI and telco customers in the UK, and globally. But if I take an example, one of the bank, we helped them quickly under 1 year that we managed to deploy the whole platform from data collection to actually delivering all those experiences in the different channels. And when we worked with them, one of the key challenges is Adobe, when we talk about decisioning, we are not only talking about marketing decisioning, we are talking about decisioning across the organization, that including, your regulatory activities, service activities, building relationship with your customers, but also obviously marketing. So that one of the key, success there is how can we quickly deploy our solution and start getting value from that. And one of the examples, we use decisioning in the mobile app, and that decisioning resulted in 300% increase on the loan intake, and that is comparing to what they had before. But also that allows them to deliver the same experience across not only digital channels, web, mobile, email, SMS, and so on, but also branch and telephony experiences is seamlessly connected to those digital channels as well. That's really it's the powerful of this platform is one single platform which allows you to deliver the different capabilities.
And another question that I'm sure that a lot of people on this call will be existing Adobe customers. How does this work with the likes of Analytics and Target?
Yeah, so
Adobe products, I should say, but just in general, yeah.
So yeah, that's a good question, Steve. Thank you. So if you look at the evolution Adobe we made in our investment in architecture. So the last 5 years we built AEP as from the ground up. So as part of the AEP platform, we built different applications, but also what we did, we integrated our platform to all the existing Adobe solution, Adobe Campaign, Adobe Target, Audience Manager, and Adobe obviously Analytics. So if we take the example of Target, in Adobe Target now, if you are using Adobe Target to drive your A/B testing, optimization, personalization, you can include on those Adobe Target activities a next best action offer or content. So the decision engine will complement your optimization tactics you're already using Adobe, and that it's you can do that natively. So basically, when you create your target activities, as part of that content, you can just say, I want also to include the next best offer action or content or experience. That's all you have to do. So if you're already an existing Adobe Target, so if you deploy our decisioning, it will natively work with that. And the same goes, all your Adobe Analytics data, all those behavior and signals are available in the experience platform to enrich the unified profile that can be used to drive your decisioning, but also your orchestration journeys.
Okay, so I haven't seen any questions come through. So thank you everyone for attending, and hopefully see you soon.